A young lion cub darted across the sun-scorched savanna, his tiny legs pumping as fast as they could. Behind him, the unmistakable laughter and high-pitched squeals of a pack of hyenas grew louder with every step. Their shadows flickered over the dry, waving grass, closing in relentlessly. Panic surged through the cub, but he refused to give in to fear. Each moment brought the predators closer, and he knew if they caught him, there would be no escape. Just as he felt his strength beginning to falter, a flicker of hope appeared on the horizon, coming from a source no one would have expected. In the distance stood a solitary acacia tree, its trunk twisted and branches thin with sparse leaves. For a grown lion, the tree offered little refuge, but for the tiny cub, it represented a lifeline. With a desperate surge of energy, he launched himself toward the tree, claws digging into the rough bark. His small paws slipped repeatedly, but he pulled himself higher, driven by the instinct to survive. Below, the hyenas circled hungrily, clicking their teeth and letting out eerie laughter, daring him to falter. The cub reached a low branch that cracked under his weight, scraping his neck and sending a sharp twinge of pain through his body. He squeaked softly but did not stop. Inch by inch, he climbed until he found a narrow fork in the branches and pressed himself against the trunk, trembling but safe, for the moment. The hyenas lingered below, waiting patiently. They knew the cub could not remain aloft forever, and the hours passed slowly under the harsh sun. Sweat and exhaustion soaked the little lion's fur, and his claws barely held onto the bark. Still, he dared not climb down. He called out softly for his mother, but the vast, empty savanna and the relentless wind answered only with silence. Vultures wheeled high in the sky, indifferent observers of the tiny struggle below. Just when the cub's hope began to waver, the heavy, measured steps of an unexpected savior reached his ears. A tall giraffe emerged from the heat shimmer, its long legs carrying it gracefully across the dry plain. It stopped near the acacia tree, lowering its head to assess the trembling cub. The lion cub eyed the giraffe warily, unsure whether this enormous creature posed a threat. Yet the giraffe stood completely still, its calm gaze offering reassurance. Slowly, it raised its long neck to align beneath the cub's position. The little lion hesitated, then, with careful courage, lowered himself onto the giraffe's neck, clinging tightly to its stiff mane. The giraffe bent slightly, bringing him down to the safety of the ground, and in moments the cub darted away, disappearing into the tall brush. Some time later, a wildlife ranger named Ethan was driving across this stretch of the savanna. Using binoculars to scan the area, he spotted a small lion cub near a tree. The cub looked weak, its neck marked by a fresh wound. Ethan approached cautiously, scooping the little animal into his arms and carrying him to a nearby rescue station. There, veterinarians cleaned the injury, offered fluids, and began the slow process of nursing the cub back to health. Days turned into weeks, and the cub's strength gradually returned. His golden fur thickened and gleamed in the sunlight, his movements grew confident, and his eyes sparkled with renewed vitality. When the young lion was strong enough, the decision was made to release him back into the wild. Ethan watched as the cub, now a vigorous juvenile, stepped out of the crate. The scent of the open savanna filled his senses, and without hesitation, he bounded into the tall grass, disappearing from sight. Life returned to its natural rhythm, but the bond between the ranger and the lion remained, a quiet thread connecting the two lives. Months later, Ethan found himself on patrol through a rocky gorge, inspecting the rugged terrain. Suddenly, he slipped between enormous boulders, trapping his leg. His radio slid from his hand, clattering uselessly against the stones. Panic clawed at him as he realized he could not escape alone. Then, from the ridge above, two familiar silhouettes appeared. A lioness and a magnificent young lion with a thick, golden mane stood surveying the trapped ranger. Recognition flickered across Ethan's face. The young lion from months before, the cub he had saved, now stood tall and imposing. The lion lowered his head and unleashed a powerful roar that echoed through the gorge, shaking the walls of rock. Hearing the unusual sound, The rescue team at the ranger station quickly traced it to the source and soon reached Ethan, pulling him to safety. Behind them, atop the cliff, the two lions lingered, their presence a silent testament to memory and gratitude. In the wild, acts of kindness and courage are sometimes repaid in ways that transcend fear, leaving a mark that neither time nor distance can erase. Stories like this remind us of the beauty and unpredictability of nature, of the bonds between humans and animals, and the profound impact a single act of compassion can have. If you enjoyed this tale of bravery, survival, and loyalty, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more incredible wildlife adventures.